Hello, my name is Charanjit Singh Sangha. I'm giving a story of my father, Captain Gian Singh, Victoria Cross, to Colourful Heritage Project. Well, my dad joined the army, British Army, in 1937. He was only 17. He joined 15th Punjab Regiment, which was mixture of Sikh units, Gorkha units, Rajputana rifles, and mainly Punjabis. Most of them was Muslims or the Sikhs. He was from the Sikh unit, and the Sikh regiment was based in Meerut, in UP, Uttar Pradesh, in India. Punjab regiment was the biggest regiment and the most, you can say, like Gorkhas. After the Gorkhas, Punjab regiment was the bravest regiment you can think of. And in the British Raj, I think, which I heard from my father or from other people, was wherever there was difficult times, or they knew that army or enemy is stronger, and the last resort used to be put the Punjab regiment there. They will sort it out, and that's how strong they were. And my dad's regiment was the only regiment in the Second World War who won 4 Victoria Cross in the same regiment. 4 Sikhs, they were Victoria Crosses. Charanjit Singh, Judge, Nand Singh, Captain Ishwar Singh, and my dad, Captain Gian Singh. 4 Victoria Cross in the same regiment. Where Kohima, I think in Burma it was, yeah, if I remember, I think it's a Kohima. The situation was the Japanese were coming towards India through Burma, and that was the last kind of obstacle for them. If they would have conquered that, they would have been in India. So what it was, there was a little, according to my dad, there was a road, and on the other side of the road they had digged these deep holes, and in those holes they kept anti-tank gun. So it was so concealed under the road on the other side, you couldn't see the enemy, you couldn't see the anti-tank gun. So for the army, for the British army or for the Indian army, for the regiments, they used to go towards it with the tanks or with the army, and the Japanese were attacking them because Dad's army was in the open and they were in the hiding. So there was no way you could attack them. The only way forward was to, if we could capture that anti-tank gun, because the tanks were destroyed like that. He was given the order to go towards them and try to hold on to them, and so that the backup can come. All the people around me got killed, and he was the last one there now. And there was nothing around him. There was no man at all. He was only about 50 yards from the enemy foxhole, they used to call it. So in the foxhole, he could see, he was lying on the ground, he could see that there are Japanese there, maybe 15, 20 of them. And he could also see there's an anti-tank gun. And my dad was about 50 yards from that position. And he knew that if he'll go back now, if he'll get up and go back, run back, there's no way he's going to survive, because there was no backup at all. There was no soldier around him. He was the only one. And so he thought, look, I'm going to die now. There's no way I'm going to survive. So might as well do something. Might as well kill fear. So he grabbed hold of his gun, his machine gun, hold of few hand grenades, and got up in front of the enemy, only 25 yards left, he started throwing the hand grenades at the foxholes. And the Japanese wasn't expecting that. So because they thought that everybody's dead, he killed all of them, 20 of them, and captured the anti-tank gun. By capturing that anti-tank gun, the road was clear and the path was clear for the army to come back. And my dad was then, well, obviously he don't remember because he had so many shots on his body. And I think 3 days later he woke up in the hospital. But the anti-tank gun was captured by Dad, which is actually, I must tell you, is in Pakistan at the moment with Dad's 15 Punjab Regiment, and is at their headquarters. We are all aware of 1947 partition, and in partition we parted everything. Area Punjab was divided, everything was divided. At the same time, our army was divided as well. So the 15 Punjab Regiment, which Dad belongs to, was actually most of the regiments in there, the companies in there was Punjabi Muslims. Because there was a more Punjabi Muslims in it, so that regiment was given to Pakistan. The regiments were divided as well. Sikh regiment came to India, and the Punjabi Muslim regiment of 15 Punjab given to Pakistan, because most of them was Muslims. Because the anti-tank gun, which was captured by my dad, was in the 15 Punjab regiment, and his nameplate, where it was won, who won it, and all that details of that is written on that anti-tank gun. So the Punjab regiment was asked, they asked my dad, what you want to do with the anti-tank gun? If you want, you can give it to the Sikh regiment where you gonna be, because eventually Dad went to the 4 Sikh regiment. Or because he was in the Punjab regiment, and Punjab regiment is going to Pakistan, anti-tank gun can be given to your regiment. So my dad said, look, when I won this, I belong to 15 Punjab regiment, and I should stay with my regiment. If the regiment is going to Pakistan, the anti-tank gun should go to Pakistan. So it's in the headquarters, I'm told, that is in the 15 Punjab regiment headquarters at the moment, is on display somewhere in Pakistan, I don't know where. I said my dad was unconscious for a few days, and he was badly injured, and his legs was all, the bullets were all over the place, and his arm, and still till his dying day, until 1996, his leg always used to hurt from those wounds, you know. My dad was brought to the village, and my village is near Namashahar, is district Namashahar, where I think 1 or 2 person actually saw a so-called Gora or a British guy. They never saw anybody until that time. The whole commanding officers and the British Army regiment, they came to my village, and they stayed in the village for 7 days. 7 days. It was like a fun fair. It was like a mela, we call it. And it was, in those days, nobody used to get jalebiyan, and the whole village was distributed with the jalebiyan. My dad used to say that people were, but even the people didn't know what the Victoria Cross was. They thought he did something, and he did something really big, and the British Army or the British people, so-called Gore, are so happy of him, and they're distributing these jalebiyan to the whole village. And so the army stayed in the village, and 14, 15 or 16 villages around my village came to see Dad, or to see the British people, white people, first time they saw in their life. The British people, or so-called the army officers, they stayed near town, which is about 4 miles from my village. They stayed there, but they used to come every morning and used to talk and tell stories about my dad, about the army hospital. My dad was given the choice either to receive the Victoria Cross in India in his regiment by the Viceroy of India, or if he won't, he can go to England and get it from the king at the time, or the Queen Victoria, I think. He can get in London. So my dad chose to receive the Victoria Cross in London. There was a big parade in London in the Hyde Park. My dad or my mom or my grandmom used to tell us then a special tailor was arranged. Special tailor was arranged from near city, which was Namashahar, and the tailor came and he took the measurements of my grandmother and my mom and my taya. There was only 3 people in the family plus my dad. There was new clothes was made by this tailor, and then from my village, my dad, my grandmom and my mom and my taya, all 4 were taken by train then to Meerut Center, where my dad's regiment was on. And my dad was taken on an open jeep, in an open jeep, and I think the commander-in-chief of the British Army met him at the Meerut train station. They took them from there, my family as well, to the Sikh temple first. It was in the open jeep, and there was about 3 or 4 miles procession, you can say, and Dad used to tell us that there was thousands and thousands of people on either side of the road waiting for Dad to come. They knew something big happened, somebody achieved really a big thing, but obviously I don't know how much they knew about the Victoria Cross. After the Second World War, there was a Victoria Cross and George Cross association were created in London, and where they were all the members, people who won the Victoria Cross from all over the world, from Australia, New Zealand, Pakistan, India, and in the Middle East, wherever, Canada, America. So they used to have a reunion every 2 years after the World War, Second World War. So my dad used to come to that reunion every 2 years since 1956, I think, onwards. So they used to come every 2 years. That's where they used to meet their old friends. And my dad had a couple of Pakistani friends, well, so-called Pakistani. Obviously for him, they were friends. Khudadad Khan was one of them, and Colonel Durrani was another. I met him personally, actually, Colonel Durrani. Khudadad Khan was the first Muslim who won the Victoria Cross in, actually maybe the first Indian soldier who won the Victoria Cross in the First World War. Yeah. And Colonel Durrani, he won in the Second World War. Happens in the reunions, there used to be 3 days of parties. First day party was always given by the High Commissioner of India. Second day, there's a club party. Third day, there's a party by the Queen at Buckingham Palace.